Welcome to a journey into the profound philosophy of no-doer or Kriya in Buddhism. Unraveling the threads of Buddhist philosophy, we find ourselves face to face with a concept that challenges our conventional understanding of existence, the concept of no-doer or Kriya in Sanskrit. This idea, as enigmatic as it sounds, is a cornerstone of Buddhist thought, forming a core part of its intricate philosophical tapestry. So, what is Kriya? The term is derived from two Sanskrit words, Kriya, meaning action or deed, and Vada, which refers to doctrine or theory. Thus, Kriya translates to the theory of action. But here's the twist. In Buddhism, it's not just about action, it's about the absence of a doer. In the everyday world, we instinctively associate actions with doers. If a ball is rolling, someone must have pushed it. If a bell rings, someone must have struck it. However, Buddhism invites us to reconsider this assumption. It proposes that actions can occur without an individual agent or a doer. This viewpoint is not just a philosophical curiosity, but a fundamental aspect of the way Buddhists perceive the world and themselves. It shapes their understanding of existence, interdependence, and the nature of suffering. It's a lens that reframes our perspective, encouraging us to see beyond the illusion of individuality and separateness. The concept of no-doer also intertwines with other key Buddhist teachings, such as the Four Noble Truths, the Eightfold Path, and the idea of anatta, or non-self. It's like a thread that runs through the fabric of Buddhism, tying together its many teachings into a coherent whole. So why should we care about no-doer? Well, it's not just about intellectual curiosity. Understanding no-doer can lead to profound insights about the nature of reality and our place in it, potentially transforming our relationship with ourselves, others, and the world around us. As we delve deeper, you'll begin to see why no-doer is such a fundamental idea in Buddhism. Now, let's try to grasp the concept of no-doer in Buddhism. In the vast ocean of Buddhist philosophy, the concept of no-doer, or Kriya, is a fascinating pearl. It's a principle that delves deep into the understanding of self, reality, and action. So, what exactly does no-doer mean? It's not about denying the existence of action, but rather it's about understanding that there is no independent, permanent entity who is performing these actions. Think of it like this. We often perceive ourselves as the doers, the actors in the play of life. However, Buddhism suggests that this perception is an illusion, a mirage created by our minds. It's like watching a movie and identifying so strongly with a character that we forget it's just a role being played on the screen. The no-doer concept challenges this perception. It suggests that what we call the doer is simply a transient combination of physical and mental elements, known as the five aggregates. These include form, sensation, perception, mental formations, and consciousness. They work together like a team, producing the actions that we usually attribute to a self, a doer. This perspective can be a bit jarring at first, but it's a fundamental aspect of Buddhist thought. It impacts how Buddhists perceive reality and the self. It shakes up the belief in a solid, unchanging ego and replaces it with a more fluid understanding of existence. It's like watching the same movie, but now understanding that the characters are just actors playing their parts. The implications of this philosophy are profound. It means that our actions are not tied to a fixed self, but are dynamic processes that arise from conditions and circumstances. It suggests a reality that is constantly changing, where there is no room for a permanent, unchanging doer. In essence, the no-doer principle is a lens through which Buddhists view the world. It's a reminder that what we perceive as solid and fixed is often an illusion, and that reality is far more fluid and dynamic than we usually imagine. So we see that no-doer is not about negating action, but about understanding the nature of action and the illusion of the doer. How does the concept of no-doer fit into the Four Noble Truths of Buddhism? Well, let's dive right into it. The Four Noble Truths, for those who may be new to Buddhism, are essentially the cornerstones of Buddhist philosophy. They are the truth of suffering, the truth of the cause of suffering, the truth of the end of suffering, and the truth of the path that leads to the end of suffering. Now, how does no-doer fit into all this? Let's start by understanding the first truth, the truth of suffering. Life, in its many forms, is filled with suffering. But who suffers? According to no-doer, there is no fixed, unchanging self that suffers. This is not to deny the reality of suffering, but to question the identity of the sufferer. The second truth, the cause of suffering, is often attributed to desire or attachment. We want things, we cling to things, and when they change or leave us, we suffer. But again, who desires? Who clings? The concept of no-doer challenges us to look beyond a fixed self and to see desire and clinging as processes, not as actions of a concrete self. This leads us to the third truth, the cessation of suffering. If suffering arises from desire and clinging, then it ends when we let go of these attachments. And if there is no fixed self that clings, then there is no one to let go. Liberation, therefore, is not a personal achievement, but a natural unfolding when the illusion of a fixed self is seen through. Finally, the fourth truth, the path to the cessation of suffering, often referred to as the Noble Eightfold Path. This path is not walked by a self, but is a process that unfolds as wisdom deepens. It is the wisdom of no-doer that illuminates this path. Through no-doer, we gain a deeper understanding of the Four Noble Truths and the path to enlightenment. How do we apply the concept of no-doer in our everyday lives? This question may seem daunting, but the answer is surprisingly simple. It's all about perspective and mindfulness. Let's start with a practical example. Imagine you're in traffic and someone cuts you off. The immediate reaction for most of us is frustration, annoyance, even anger. But applying the no-doer philosophy, we see things differently. Instead of focusing on the person who cut you off as the doer of a negative action, you see the situation as a series of impersonal events. The other driver's action isn't a personal affront, but merely the result of countless factors, most of which are beyond their control. In another scenario, consider a personal failure or mistake. Often we're harsh on ourselves, blaming ourselves as the doer of the failure. But with no-doer, we can detach from this self-blame. We understand that the failure resulted from a chain of events and conditions, not from a single doer. This perspective helps us to let go of guilt and self-judgment, and instead focus on learning and growth. This philosophy isn't about shirking responsibility, but about seeing the world in a more interconnected and less personal way. It's about understanding that we're all part of a complex web of cause and effect. When we apply no-doer to our interactions with others, we become more compassionate and understanding. We see that people's actions are often the result of their circumstances, not their inherent nature. This understanding can help us to respond to others with kindness and empathy, rather than judgment or blame. In essence, no-doer in practice is about embracing a more mindful and compassionate approach to life. It's about seeing beyond the surface of actions and events, and understanding the deeper, interconnected nature of reality. By applying no-doer, we can transform our perception of reality and live more mindfully. This shift in perspective can lead to a more peaceful, understanding and compassionate existence. So, why not give it a try? Who knows, you might just find that it changes your life. By applying no-doer, we can transform our perception of reality and live more mindfully. So we've journeyed through the profound concept of no-doer in Buddhism. This exploration has taken us to the heart of Buddhist philosophy and practice, where we've unearthed the essence of no-doer, or Kriya-vada. In the course of our journey, we delved into the understanding of no-doer as a concept that transcends the conventional understanding of the self. We learned that in Buddhism, there is no inherent, independent self-performing actions. Instead, all actions arise from conditions and cease when these conditions are no longer present. This is the crux of the no-doer concept. We also looked at how no-doer connects with the Four Noble Truths, the core teachings of Buddhism. The understanding of no-doer helps us grasp the profound implications of these truths. It underscores the idea that suffering, its origin, its cessation, and the path leading to the cessation of suffering are all interdependent phenomena, not the result of a single, independent doer. Our exploration also took us to the practical aspects of no-doer. We learned how this concept can be applied in everyday life to cultivate mindfulness, reduce suffering, and attain a deeper understanding of the self and the world. By realizing that there is no doer, we can let go of the illusion of control, reduce our attachment to outcomes, and live more fully in the present moment. In conclusion, the concept of no doer in Buddhism is a profound and transformative teaching that challenges our conventional understanding of self and action. It offers a path to greater wisdom, serenity, and liberation. As we continue our journey towards understanding, let's keep this teaching in mind, reflecting on its implications and integrating it into our practice. Thank you for joining this journey into no doer in Buddhism. May your path towards understanding be filled with wisdom and serenity.